fashion capital of Temasek Polytechnic, School of Design, Diploma in Apparel Design and Merchandising. It is the only polytechnic in the whole of Singapore to offer a fashion-related course. If you want to know how this course can help you in your future career as a fashion designer, then I'm here to help. My name is Dylan, and let me show you what we do here in ADM.
Design inspiration can be found everywhere, from the green paradise at the backyard of Temasek Polytechnic to the canvas of a white wall.
Hello and welcome to Communication Design. I'm your host, Ng Kayan. Let me guide you through what the Communication Design course is all about. Let's go! Before you build anything, you need a good foundation. That's why in your first year, you'll cover basic foundation subjects like typography, layout, and web design. You also go through the software skills of Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign.
In our very own tactile room, you'll have hands-on experience in creating 3D artworks and doing fun silk screening onto t-shirts and tote bags. At the end of the first year, you apply everything you've learned in a studio project.
You get to do presentations which will train you to be more confident in your communication. In your second year, you'll sharpen your skills in both the technical and creative aspects of advertising, cinema 4D, and branding strategies.
Finally, when you get to year 3, you'll have the chance to pitch your creative ideas to real clients from the industry in a module called Industry Studio Project. You will work on several briefs with a very short turnaround time. This mimics the vigorous deadlines and pace of the creative industry. You will then go for your student internship program, where you will intern at a company of your choice and get a chance to experience firsthand how the industry works. When you come back to school after 4 months of internship, you will be ready for the final stretch in communication design.
During your final year project, you'll be able to create a body of work that showcases your 3 years of learning. It'll be a project that you'll be proud to put on your portfolio.
I know it might seem like a lot to process, but don't worry. In communication design, the lecturers are passionate mentors with many years in the industry, and they will be there with you every step of the way in your learning journey. With training, internships, and study trips, you get a well-rounded educational experience. Being acknowledged for your hard work is one thing, but to be recognized with an award is humbling and an honor. The Crowbar Awards has been a leading award show for emerging creatives to showcase their best ideas. Always striving to be the best, we have produced the most awards from the Crowbar design competitions. The winners have gone on to make big footprints in the design industry. Apart from the Crowbar design competition, we also actively participate in the Yellow Pencil as well as the D&D New Blood Awards. This is to ensure our students get the best experience and exposure.
If you believe that creativity means being the best version of yourself and setting your mind free, come join us at Communication Design.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Temasek Polytechnic School of Design, welcome to our student sharing session on day 1 of our open house. My name is PJ and I will be today's facilitator. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our 3 of our guest speakers today. We really appreciate you taking time off your busy timetable to join us today. To the rest of the audience who are tuning in, we hope you will find this sharing session to be fruitful and engaging. Today's topic for our sharing session is Communicate, Don't Complicate, Life in Communication Design. Well, today we are very happy to have 3 current students of the Communication Design program to share their experience as students here in Temasek Poly. It's interesting to note we have picked 3 different students from the 3 different cohorts here today. And perhaps let's get our 3 speakers to do a little intro about themselves. Let's start off with Shara. Shara, maybe you wave to the camera.
Hi. Okay, hi guys. My name is Shara and I'm in year 1 and I'm 19 years old.
All right. Let's move on to Wanyan. You want to wave to the camera?
Hi, Yen, and I'm 19 this year as well. I'm in year 2.
Cool. Thanks, Fanyan. And last, we have Satna. Will you wave to the camera?
Hi, I'm Satna and I'm in year 3.
All right. So, yes, thank you for the time. So, well, to kick off this morning's program, we are pleased to have our first speaker for today. We're going to start off with Shara, who's a first year communication design student. So let Shara share with everyone her journey in her first year in TP Design School. Shara, over to you.
Okay, hi.
Hang on, let's try to pull out the slides now.
Okay, hi guys. So today I'm going to be presenting you Communicate, Don't Complicate Life in Communication Design. And I'm going to introduce myself. So my name is Shara, but people call me Shars. I'm in year 1, age 19. I love music, fashion, socializing, visual learner, and I have a strong appreciation for arts and design. That's why I came to Temasek Communication Designs. I live by this quote called work hard, play hard. And today I'll be sharing with you 4 things I've learned in year 1, mostly on personal development and what would you expect in your year 1 on your own. Okay, so first things first. Now, when you're in year 1, you'll be doing a lot of generating like design thinking. So in your year 1, they will focus on generating ideas and for you to think outside the box. So there'll be lectures for you to guide you along the way. So don't be afraid to generate silly ideas because no ideas are worthless. If you don't have an art background, it's totally fine because when you're here, they will teach you how to develop strong ideas and then you'll prove it from there. Temasek Poly has a very good learning experience. So the learning environment is really great, very encouraging, not only from your lecturers, but from your peers as well. So there are definitely no judgments at all. Okay, so when you're in year 1, you will most probably be coming from secondary school and IT. In Polytechnic, especially for Temasek Design, you will go through a lot of criticisms over your work. And before you get yourself into Temasek Poly, you should be mentally prepped for that because when you present your work, there will be a panel of your peers and lecturers that will critique your work. But don't worry because their criticisms are constructive criticisms. So it's for you to gain a lot of experiences and knowledge for you to better improve your work. So you have to have an open mind to feedbacks because this helps you improve and understand your works and perspective. So try not to take it to the heart because during my experience in year 1, I realized that, and I've seen and witnessed like some students, they're not really, they can't take in criticisms and it's quite hard for you to improve in that aspect. And so you have to be strong and in heart and take it to a new point of view and see it from a different eye and just take it that they are doing this just for your own benefit. Okay, for my third one is for you to be a driven learner. As you can see from our image, it says good learners have a positive approach to their learning, and that's exactly what I'm trying to say. So when you go through criticisms and you go through all these kind of things, sometimes you might think that why are they saying all these kind of things? Like, is my work really that bad? No, it's not. You're in year 1, you're still learning. Even if you're up to year 3, you're still going to be learning and improving your works, and that's part of your learning journey. So just make sure that you are a driven learner, an independent learner in general. So get back up and move on. Learn from every ups and downs and aspects in your 3 years in Temasek Poly, and also try to adapt the right mindset. Thirst for knowledge and experience and not for grades, because I realize some people, they do work solely based on their academic grades, and sometimes it can have a really bad peer pressure. Just learn in Temasek Poly, and that try and incorporate a lot of things that you learn from your lecturers and your peers, and make sure that you have fun along the way as well, and have the right mindset in that sense. That I'm trying to say that when you're in Temasek Poly in design or in any course in that matter, make sure that you do things for your own benefit and for your own learning experience before thinking about the grades. Grades will come and for itself if you do things right. Okay, and last but not least, have fun, guys. Like seriously, be like in Temasek Poly, it's really, really fun. You get to experience a lot of things, hands-on, and it's a really fun and captivating module, a course to go in. So keep learning and have fun. Try to captivate our work-life balance because it's very important. I know there will be a lot of assignments due and a lot of things that's on your plate, but remember to even it out, and also remember to have fun also. So there is more to life than just grades in general. So if you can have that work-life balance, that'd be great, so that you don't have to pressure yourself, because it's quite for what I've seen, it's quite upsetting sometimes. So do your best and take pride of your works, and in general, just have fun and with your peers and with your lecturers and all. All right, so that's all I have for you today. So if you have any questions, you can ask, and we can definitely answer you by the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Shara, for the insightful presentation, especially the 4 key points that you have learned in your first year here. Meanwhile, if you are tuning in and you have questions for our speakers today, please feel free to type in the comment section in the video box. Okay, we hope to answer them at the Q&A session later on. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to invite our next speaker to share with us. Next up, we have Wan Yan, a year 2 CMD student, to share with us her experience so far in her 2 years journey in school. Wan Yan, please.
Hi, I'm Wan Yan and I'm in year 2 this year. So today I'll be sharing on life in communication design. So I'm in year 2, as I mentioned. I'm in the branding specialization, and I love illustration and painting. So in my spare time, I also enjoy figure drawing, watercolor, and baking. So that's some of my hobbies. And you can frequently catch me attending art conventions, hanging out at galleries and museums, or having a midnight snack. So if you'd like to get to know me, you can scan my Spotify playlist, and I'm currently listening to a lot of indie pop. So these are some projects that I have worked on in school. So on the left, you can see Studio Project 2, which is an app about eczema. And I developed like entire app around it. And on the right, you can see what I did for brand strategy, which is a herbal tea branding. And this is a event that I did. So this is just one part of the entire like experience. So life and communication design, as students, we are just starting out and we are just like learning how to design. So with new exposure to many different elements in school from classmates, our environment is extremely important. So these are some things I have really enjoyed from communication design, and I'm going to share 5 things that I have picked up over my 2 years in school. So on the right, you can see that's my class, and you can see in the bottom left, that's me dressed up for Halloween. Yep. Moving on. So I would like to talk about ideation and creativity. So our lecturers really encourage ideation. Okay. Sorry, previous slide. Sorry. Can we move back to the previous slide? Feedback. So we are really not afraid of critique. We always have critique and consultation sessions to build upon and improve our work. So it's actually really encouraged my friends and I to ask each other to give critique for learning and self-improvement. So everyone's always trying their best to improve together. So on the left, there's a black and white version. So this is what I produced in the first week, and we were asked to produce a brochure. So our assignment was to produce a brochure for Singapore International Film Festival. So if we move to the next slide, there's like a big zoom out of my poster. So the red and white poster is the final layout that I submitted. Sorry, that's the previous slide. Could we move back? Yeah, so this is some of my other works that I did, which is on the left, these are sketches, and on the right, it shows dogs with their tongues out. Sorry, I think we're having technical issues. Yeah, okay, I'm accessing it now. Sorry, give me a second. Sorry, give me 1 second and I'm going back. So sorry about that. So something that we always have is like friends and events. So there's always something going on in school, and there's never a dull day. From a pop-up booth to submissions at Halloween, that if there's nothing going on, we try to come up with our own events, and we always come up with something to do. So we apply design to everything we do, from selling stickers and printing shirts to having random dress themes. So if we move on to the next slide, you can see that the red image is what we did for CCN Day. So this was an event where my class came together and we sold shirts and stickers for like charity. So it's like a school fund for people who need it. And on the right, this is my class. We're having a great time together on the submission day of our tactile design. Yeah, moving on. So we have some really engaging projects. So our coursework and projects are always exciting, from branding a dental company to making posters for our school canteen. So there's always something really fun to do and competitions to enter, with opportunities everywhere. So we have a school email and they always frequently contact us to like, will you be interested in working on this project? And you can always say yes anytime. And there's always a lot of like things going on. So if you see the blue image, this is what I did for Q&M. It's a dental exhibit escape for youth to be interested to learn more about like how to take care of your teeth. And at the bottom, it's a poster for school, which is like glad to be back in school after COVID. So it's an illustration that I did outside of schoolwork. So it's something for the school. Yeah. Moving on. Yeah, so these are the images in full. You can take a look. So it's a mock-up of like scape. So if you see the blue image with the teeth, on the bottom right, it's an AR exhibit that people can scan. And it talks about like braces, dental, like veneers, things like that. And in the background, there's an exhibit on how to brush your teeth properly. And on the left, you can see that there's a kid sitting on like some teeth size exhibit foam teeth that you can play on and move around. Moving on. So outside of coursework, there's a lot of opportunities from CCAs to clubs to other projects that you can take on or do yourself. So I'm personally in design ambassadors, Temasek Poly ambassadors, and printmaking interest group. So printmaking interest group is one of our 2 interest groups that is linked to communication design. So only if you're on this course, it's like specially for us. Yeah, so there's never a down day. So if we go to the next slide, you can see that the image of the screenshot is a image from my Instagram, which are some posters that I try to do every day to like buff up my typography skills. And this is what I did in year 1. So it's really a poster project. And the Flex Week interest group activities is us result printing some posters for our year ones. So it was a collaboration between our other interest group. Yeah, so this is what it looks like in full. So these are my friends printing and helping out the year ones. Yep, so thank you. For any questions, you can drop it in the comments. And I'd just like to say that passion can take you anywhere. So in the bottom right, it's a poster that I did before joining design school. And I think it's safe to say that my environment has helped me improve my design skills a lot. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Wan Yan, for your very detailed presentation. We are opening questions from the floor today with the Q&A segment later on. So if you have any burning questions, please type away in the comment section below, okay, and video chat group. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to invite our last speaker to share with us her journey so far in her 3 years of design in design school. Can we have Satna?
Hi. So I'm Sana Saku and I'm in my year 3. So today I'll be talking about my life in design school for 3 years. So yeah. Okay, so I'll be talking about a little bit about myself. So I actually came into communication design from secondary school. I was in the art stream and I was really passionate about art and design. So I'm sure if any of you guys are here too and are passionate about art and design, so I suggest you really do what you love. And I do not regret coming to design school at all. So now I'll be telling you about 5 of the experience I've gained from design school. So first is learning design in multiple ways. So in year 1, I had a lot of questions like, is design about making beautiful art? How is actually design like applicable in our daily lives? So these questions really popped in my head. I'm not sure like what is it really about? Because design is so broad, right? There's a lot of things you can do. There's website design, there's brand design, logo design. So you don't have to worry because in your year 1, you can actually you can experience a lot of different activities like webinars from designers like Pan Lim, and also there was also a lot of trips to the different places like the Art Science Museum. So in our year 1, we really learn about the basics of design, and we are really given the freedom to express our ideas in any way possible. So yeah. Okay, so second is growing together with your classmates. So when you go to communication design, of course, you need to communicate. So you have to talk to your friends and your lecturers about your ideas and how to design so that your design process can be simpler and very helpful. So I got many such opportunities through like group projects, and you can see here I'm working with my group mates via like video calls. And even though there's the COVID-19 currently, we still manage to get together and work. And also the process of video calling our lecturers as well for consultations. So it's really, it has been a great process so far. And also you can see some of my design work here, which is my poster design and my website design that I did in school. So do not worry, no ideas are limited. You can express your creativity in many different ways. And yeah, it's really, you don't have to be super talented at what you do. You can come to design school and just be open to learn and yeah, have fun. Okay, so thirdly is you get the opportunities to work with clients. So this is in year 3. This is where you finally get to apply your design skills into the real design industry. So in year 3, we have this module called Industry Studio Project, and we get the opportunity to actually work with clients. So this here you can see is Indian Heritage Center's Cultural Fest 2020, and we were given the opportunity to actually design a logo for them. So we were really thrilled when me and my group mates were selected as the logo design for 2020's Culture Fest. It's really rewarding to see your design actually come to life. And yeah, so Below, you can also see that I participated in a wall mural design project for Temasek Poly's 30th anniversary. So this was also really fun because we were given full freedom over what we wanted to do for the wall, and we decided on actually showcasing Temasek Polytechnic's campus in a very fun and lively way, as you can see behind us on the wall. So it was really fun, and design school really gives you a lot of competitions, contests, and like opportunities to participate in projects that you want to work on. So yeah. And the fourth thing is working in a design company. So this comes in your year 3 as well, right after your industry studio project. So internship, this was my very first design internship. And this was really an eye-opening experience. And yeah, so this really gives you a taste of the design industry before you graduate. And so I work with a team of designers in a company called Think Tank Studio, and it was very fruitful. I learned a lot from my fellow designers in the company, and I got to even publish a magazine cover for the internship company, as you can see here. And you don't have to worry also, even if I was alone in this company for 4 months as the only intern, but it's okay because you have monthly meetings with your lecturers to check up on you and see if you're doing okay and you have work-life balance in your company as well. So really, even if you won't feel alone during these 4 months, and it'll be enjoyable experience. Yeah. So yeah. So last one, don't forget to have fun. Being a creative and a designer, you need to think out of the box, and so don't forget to have fun, make memories with your friends, and yeah, I can't believe it has been 3 years. Time flies really when you're having fun. And like communication design's slogan, do what you love. So come to design school and comment down below if you have any questions. We are always like happy to answer. All three of us, we are happy to answer it for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Satna, for your wonderful sharing session. So you might have heard from our different speakers. One of the unique selling points of the CMD program is that students get to choose an area of specialization. Typically, students are able to pick from one of the 3 options, which is branding, integrated, and image design. So you have all heard our speakers today. Once again, we are opening the questions from the floor today with a Q&A segment. If you have any burning questions, please ask away at the chat box in our YouTube channel below. All right. Okay, perhaps we could just throw some questions first to get the conversation starting. Perhaps maybe I could direct this question to Satna. How important is having an art background for this program?
Okay, so having an art background, I do think that relatively you should have some art background, but I know a lot of my friends who come into design school who can't even draw a stick man, they can't really draw, but it's okay because in your first year, you actually have a module called Design Fundamentals. So you learn about color theory, drawing, perspective drawing, and a lot more. So I would say it is important in terms of visualizing your ideas, but even if you can't draw, it's fine because you will learn it in year 1 anyways. Yeah.
Right. Since we are talking to Satna, maybe Satna, you could continue with this Q&A section with me. I understand you are doing your final year project now. Perhaps you could share a little bit about your topic that you have undertaken.
Yeah, so in our final, so in our final year, we actually get to choose a topic that we like. So you can do many different topics. You're really given the opportunity to choose and create a solution or like an idea that you have. So a lot of people do a lot of different things, like they do about beverages, they do about there's so many things you can explore, like Chinese opera, a lot of things. I'm doing gardening because I keep a lot of plants at home, and it is quite a passion of mine. So I'm actually creating a mobile application for gardeners to connect and share. So you can really do um, whichever topic that you like for your final year, which is really great, and you apply all the stuff that you learn over 3 years into this final module. So there's a lot of pressure, but it is really fun. And also you can apply to competitions like the Crowbar Awards and DNAD that you've seen in the video. So it's really currently it's been a good experience. Yeah.
All right, Satna, we have one more question. It's directed for you. Let me see how this. Okay, Satna, what does it take to last 3 years in design school?
Okay. So okay. I mean, yes, being a designer is it requires you to be really driven and independent in your learning. So yes, you have to be very independent in your learning, because design is very broad. There's a lot of different things you can do, and so I hope you come into design with an open mind. And example, if you like photography, you can explore a lot of different ways to do photography. You can do photography for your final year project. And yeah, so I would say first, be driven and independent in your learning. So take the opportunity to participate in whatever design talks or design contests, put yourself out there for people to see you. And secondly, I would say you have to work hard. Yeah, you do. You do have to work hard, because uh, design design has technical skills and non-technical skills. The technical skills include like softwares like Adobe Cloud, Photoshop, and Illustrator. And the non-technical skills you learn is communication. So you communicate with people, you create proposals for clients, and yeah. So be driven, be passionate, and yeah, be open-minded. So yeah, keep learning. Thank you.
Okay, we have one questions that just streamed in from Emily. Okay, did all of you enter design school at year end or early admissions? Do you submit a portfolio with your application? All right, perhaps we could direct this question to Wan Yan, who came in through the early admission exercise. Wan Yan, maybe you could share with us how was your early admission application was?
Hi. So my early admission application, it started with like working on portfolio, and we prepared for interview. So when I was thinking about my portfolio, I'm actually from a science stream, so I took double pure science, and I didn't take art at all. So it was quite difficult to like find pieces of work. But again, I did a lot of illustration in my spare time, and as I said, I like to do a lot of watercolor. So portfolio was not really a problem for me. And in school, I asked for help to how to arrange an interview and how to like answer interview questions. And usually in school, there will be someone who will be quite willing to help you, maybe your teachers, maybe your mentors. So it's quite all right. So you just apply and you turn up and you do your best. I think it's good to show passion, excitement, and really like just show who you are during the interview, and you'll see if you can get in. Yeah. If you are try again through AE, I wish you all the best.
Get Shara to share on it. I understand Shara also came through the EAEI route, right? Previously, you have a qualification in visual communication from ITE Central. Perhaps you want to share your views on this?
Is it, you want me to share how my EAE went?
Yes, right.
Yeah, so like
And
for me,
how did you prep for this interview?
okay, so for me, I went through EAE I came from ITE. So before this, I was studying visual communications at IT Central. So if let's say you're from IT and you're thinking how do you get into poly, there's such things as EAE. My word of advice for you is do your best during the interview, be yourself, and I feel like they will definitely like throw you. They will definitely ask you a serious question, like something that you won't expect, but just be yourself, be flexible, and do your best. If let's say you don't have an art background and you're curious, like, how do I get into design, and you have literally no portfolio, you could actually do a little scrapbook or something of your inspirational, and you can talk about it and tell, and maybe like explain to them like why you want to do design. You don't, I mean, like Sana has said, like art design has its benefits. You actually have like it has its benefits because you already know how to do art in sketch, because in design you will be doing a lot of it. But there are so many people that I know that don't have the drawing capabilities, but they do generate really good ideas. So at the end of the day, it's how you do it. For me, I went through early admission, and if you're asking me about if any of you are from ITE, my word of advice is do your best. Seriously, go and work hard. And if you want to come here, I mean, the doors are always open. So just do your best. That's all I have to say. Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
and the portfolio part, I did not submit through an application. I actually showed them through my interview itself. And also, if you're going through like an interview, you don't actually have to bring your physical portfolio. If let's say you have a lot, you can actually just put it on a digital. Actually, it's a lot more efficient and faster for them to look through rather than if to bring. Because my experience from EAE is I saw some people bring like whole bundle of artworks. Maybe you can bring some, one or two, maybe like a small A4, A5 booklet. But if you're going to bring like a whole like painting and everything, just take a photo and make it into like a album, and you can show it from there. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Shara, for your little sharing session. Okay, if you have any questions, those of you who are tuning in on our YouTube live, okay, please feel free to add the comments in your chat box, and we hope to get our panel speakers to share with you their answers. Maybe to get things going still, perhaps I could direct this question. These questions get asked very frequent, okay? Perhaps I could direct these questions to Wan Yen. I think Wan Yen, understand you came through, you were from Dunman, and you were from a science stream student, right? You were mentioning. Perhaps can I ask, is drawing an important skills to have to do well in communication design? Perhaps what's your view on this?
So my view on this is that drawing is important to an extent. It's good to be able to know how to sketch, because if you know how to sketch, you can like show your ideas, and it's very important to be able to like. It's much faster to write down your idea and draw your idea than to digitally do it. So in that sense, I think sketching is also something that you can pick up. We have a module that was mentioned called DESFUN, that design fundamentals, that can really help you, and it's one of the first few things that you take when you're coming into school. So it will like buff up anything if you're a science student. So when I was a science student, I was quite worried because I was like thinking, how am I gonna like compete with all these art students? But I realized that it's really not a competition, and everyone from the art stream is also quite ready to help you. So I think with enough like passion and interest, and if you work hard, you can definitely do well. Yeah. So it's not a problem if you don't know how to be able to draw. It's something that you can definitely pick up.
Thank you, Wan Yen. All right, we have one questions coming in. Anyone who came from year-end application? So I think what the user mean is JAE route, right? Not your early admission route. Okay. Understand, Satna. Satna, you came through the joint admission exercise route. Perhaps you could share your journey. I think you had a choice, right? You could go to JC if you want to. Perhaps
yeah.
you want to share what was your experience like applying through JAE route, Satna?
Okay, so for JAE, right, it's pretty much the normal route where in secondary school they give you this whole application booklet and then you start to apply for courses. So I was definitely contemplating about JC or poly, and I went to the different open houses first before I actually decided. So it was pretty much the standard procedure where you write in your choices. So CMD was my communication design was my first choice because I felt that I really or really wanted to go to design school. And basically I was looking at my EL R2B2, which I believe is the cutoff, how you determine your poly cutoff points. And so my cutoff point was about 11, and like it hit the cutoff point for, I believe, communication design school, which is about 15. So definitely EAE is also EAE or JAE. Um, they For JAE, they actually look at your cutoff points first because it is a blind application and they choose you based on how many people are needed for that course. So definitely you have to be eligible for the cutoff points to firstly get into the course. So yeah, and I actually decided to go to the poly route because I felt like the learning in poly is a bit more, I guess, open and I guess less stressful than JC, because in JC it is more focused on your your kind of technical skills, like memorizing, or like it's very heavy, content heavy, but I'm more of a visual learner and like very hands-on. So I decided to go to the poly route and JE. So first, you definitely have to make sure you hit the cutoff point for CMD, and also put it as your first choice if you want to get in. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Satna, for your tip. So to those of you who are tuning in, there are a few routes. Typically, if you are keen to join the communication design program, you could come in through the EAE exercise, okay, or early admission. If you need some tips and portfolio, we do organize webinars, which is happening typically in either April or May. This is to prep you for the EAE exercise, which is typically in July. Okay, so there are multiple ways of coming in through the different admission programs. So it's really it's good that you know what you want. Okay? So yeah, so let's take a look at the chat questions. Okay. Okay, perhaps we could get each of our speakers to share something. Like, if we are to ask you, what are some last words of advice to students who are keen to enroll in the program? How would you advise them? Okay, perhaps we could get Shara to share your views on this. What are last words of advice to students?
Okay, my last words of advice is to come to the interview well prepared. Better to be well prepared than underprepared, because you only have one shot during the interview, and first image counts. My most advice is first impression counts a lot. So make sure you dress presentable. If you don't have nice things to wear, you can actually come with your school uniform, so you're fine. Just make sure that you're neat and tidy. And before you come to the interview, just make sure that you already prep yourself mentally for some questions that they may ask you. Generally, the interview will not be so intense if you are like well prepared. Just be yourself, and sometimes they might ask you questions that, well, again, I say that you don't like imagine, right? But Just reply logically. I think that's the safest, I would say. Yeah.
All right. Wan Yin, what's your take on this? Any last words of advice to students who are keen to enroll in this program?
So maybe some last words of advice that I have is that to take any opportunities that come your way. So this something that I was quite scared to do before I joined was that I would think, what if I don't have time? But really, I think it's very important to push yourself. So even as it applies to a lot of things. So if you are applying for EAE through portfolio, push yourself, maybe go out there and see what events are there out there that I can join. Are there any conventions? Are there any markets that are interesting? Maybe go out and take a look at urban sketching, see what other people do. Then even things that don't seem related, like maybe pottery or embroidery, try it out, take a hand at them. It's good to have more experience with more things and just like have fun while you do it, while you learn new things. Yeah, that's my last word.
Thank you, Wan Yin. Satna, what's your take on this?
Okay, so like how Shara and Wan Yan mentioned, actually a lot of people who come into communication design do it through EAE because I believe a lot of people who come into design are passionate. And also if you take JAE also, it's fine. So, we all discover our passion for design at some point in our lives. It could be in year 1 or year 3 or after you graduate. So don't worry. Your design it takes time to learn about design, and if you're applying through EAE, definitely show whatever you have. It could be traditional drawing, it could be photography. Just show whatever artistically you're inclined towards. Don't worry about having like a whole broad portfolio where don't think that you need to have like so many range of things in your portfolio. Just show what you are really keen on doing, and also just be confident, okay, about your skills and talents. And yeah, when you come into design school, you have your friends and lecturers to always help you. You can take part in competitions, so be proactive and always keep learning and trying to like upgrade yourself. So yeah, do what you love, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. We have one interesting question. Isn't it great to not to have maths in this course? Okay, what's the hardest subject for you? Yeah, I think all of you would agree that a lot of you don't like maths as a subject, right? That's why. What's the hardest subject for you? Maybe I understand it's in terms of. Not sure, is it based on your O-level experience or perhaps maybe a harder subject in school, maybe in design school. Okay, what would be your hardest subject? Maybe each of you could share. Sarah, I don't think you need to answer this because you're only in your second semester in school here. Perhaps Wan Yan and Satna, you could answer this. What's the hardest subject so far for you in design school and why? Maybe Wan Yan, you want to share, unmute and share?
I would say the hardest for me would be typography. So in typography, they really help you like start from basics. They teach you like from the ground up. So, but it's just something that I'm not like particularly talented at. So if you took a look at my slides earlier, there was actually like a screenshot of my Instagram with some like typography posters. So that was me trying to like learn and improve. So outside of, even though I found it hard, I still wanted to, because typography I believe is very important. I still wanted to find a way to learn and improve. So even if it's hard, that doesn't mean that it has to deter you. You can still work on it, and I think it's something that has definitely gotten better for me. Yeah. On to you, Sana.
Oh, thanks, Wan Yan. So I think for me, like after 3 years, I would say it is learning about motion graphics, which is After Effects. I do like struggle with that a bit because it is really a fun and exciting thing to do, to learn After Effects and create animations, but it definitely requires some practice and like some time to actually get a hold of the software and learn about After Effects, but it's, I think, even though there's not much math involved, it's all about trying to come up with very good ideas and solutions. So you really need to use a lot of your thinking skills. So sometimes I think the most, even though you design very well, I think the hardest part is creating a good idea that can be used in society. So yeah, and yeah, so final year project, if we are given a lot of freedom, so that can be also challenging because we don't have a specific audience that we are targeting, or like we are not limited to the client. So definitely you have to think, even though there's no math, you definitely have to keep using your thinking skills and make sure you are creating a good idea. Yeah.
Can I just add that although there's no maths involved, right? The difficult part that you will actually go through as like all students is precision. Although there's no maths, but everything, all your works are being analyzed critically. So if you are, even though there's no maths, precision is very important. So that's one of the areas where I think a lot of students go through, and that's probably one of the difficult part, because sometimes you might think that your work is like precise, but actually when people check, it's actually not. So you kind of have to like reorganize it again to make sure that it's pleasing to the eyes and presentable. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like I want to add on to what Shara said. So definitely, you don't have. It's really about precision. Like Wan Yan also mentioned typography, getting the basics of your design good first. So don't worry, even if you're not super talented, or like they're not assessing you're not getting your grades based on like how talented or how beautiful your artwork is, but about how good your idea and your solution is. So yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, so yeah, and learn the basics of your design first, so it'll be fine. Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our segment, and I hope you have found this morning's presentation informative and useful. And I would like to convey our biggest thanks to all our 3 student speakers today, and to the rest of you tuning in now. Thank you very much, and do look out for the rest of our lineup for TV Virtual Open House 2021, happening out from now till 9th January. And if you are keen to find out more about the CMD program, do check out our school website, and our JAV course code is T59. Sign off from here. Goodbye and see you, everyone.
Design inspiration can be found everywhere, from the green paradise at the backyard of Temasek Polytechnic to the canvas of a white wall.
Hello and welcome to Communication Design. I'm your host, Eng Kayan. Let me guide you through what the Communication Design course is all about. Let's go! Before you build anything, you need a good foundation. That's why in your first year, you'll cover basic foundation subjects like typography, layout, and web design. You also go through the software skills of Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign.
In our very own tactile room, you'll have hands-on experience in creating 3D artworks and doing fun silk screening onto t-shirts and tote bags. At the end of your first year, you apply everything you've learned in a studio project.
You get to do presentations which will train you to be more confident in your communication. In your second year, you'll sharpen your skills in both the technical and creative aspects of advertising, cinema 4D, and branding strategies.
Finally, when you get to year 3, you'll have the chance to pitch your creative ideas to real clients from the industry in a module called Industry Studio Project. You will work on several briefs with a very short turnaround time. This mimics the vigorous deadlines and pace of the creative industry. You will then go for your student internship program. where you will intern at a company of your choice and get a chance to experience firsthand how the industry works. When you come back to school after 4 months of internship, you will be ready for the final stretch in communication design.
During your final year project, you'll be able to create a body of work that showcases your 3 years of learning. It'll be a project that you'll be proud to put on your portfolio.
I know it might seem like a lot to process, but don't worry. In communication design, the lecturers are passionate mentors with many years in the industry, and they will be there with you every step of the way in your learning journey. With training, internships, and study trips, you'll get a well-rounded educational experience. Being acknowledged for your hard work is one thing, but to be recognized with an award is humbling and an honor. The Crowbar Awards has been a leading award show for emerging creatives to showcase their best ideas. Always striving to be the best, we have produced the most awards from the Crowbar design competitions. The winners have gone on to make big footprints in the design industry. Apart from the Crowbar design competition, we also actively participate in the Yellow Pencil as well as the D&D New Blood Awards. This is to ensure our students get the best experience and exposure.
If you believe that creativity means being the best version of yourself and setting your mind free, come join us at Communication Design! Woo!